Hello, welcome back to Premier League Primetime, episode 13, and I'm delighted to introduce now everybody here, including Robertson and the Fab Five, are back. How are all of you guys doing?
Excellent, Davis, and yourself.
I'm absolutely buzzing today. Today's been a very good day. And I know today's been a good day for some, and not such a great day for others. But yeah, I'm not going to go too much into that. What do we say? Let's just get right into match day 14. And Robert, so we'll start with you. Liverpool dispatched Crystal Palace by 7-0. Goals courtesy of one of Andre's greatest and favorite players of all time, Takumi Minamino, Sadio Mane, Roberto Firmino with a brace, Jordan Henderson, and Mohamed Salah coming off the bench and bagging himself a brace. What did you make of Liverpool's rampant performance against Palace?
They're kind of the same Liverpool that won the Premier League last year. It was a pretty one-sided game. They were playing pretty bad at the beginning of the season, but now that they're, I think, coming into blossom, even though like half their team is hurt, they'll probably win the Premier League again, which, you hate to see it, but that's how it works.
Yeah,
Pretty one-sided game too.
Yeah, you put it there perfectly. Honestly, it still shows that even with with the injuries that they have, especially Van Dijk missing, that Liverpool are so miles ahead of everybody. Even when they had that difficult midweek test against Tottenham, they still managed to win even with guys missing, like Fabinho signing into center back, and what a revelation that's been absolutely brilliant. And yeah, when you look at this result, it just really isn't a surprise to anyone, isn't it? We go into the next game, where Manchester City, through a Raheem Sterling goal, dispatched a Southampton side. A disappointing result from Southampton because, to be honest with you, Southampton played quite well. You share the same opinion, Jose?
Yeah, I mean, usually we see Man City like really dominating possession, having most of the chances and everything. But I mean, the game was pretty even. I mean, pretty much even possession. Just a brilliant moment from Kevin De Bruyne, from the right wing, into Raheem Sterling in the middle. So it's just one brilliant moment really won this game for Man City.
Yeah, absolutely. And it shows what a player like Kevin De Bruyne can do, and when you have a guy that I think everybody knows by now. It'd be stupid to me to say it. I mean, when it comes down to and Southampton was no easy test for Man City, as you clearly saw. Manchester City only got a single goal. But when it came down to their big players, grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck, Kevin De Bruyne 100% did, and provided that service for Raheem Sterling. And Manchester City were able to get back to their winning ways after a stalemate in the derby last week. Going into the next game, and what more can I say other than it just gets worse and worse for Arsenal. Arsenal losing by 2-1 to Everton, courtesy of a Rob Holding. It was ruled as a Rob Holding own goal, but I thought it was a Dominic. I thought Dominic Calvert-Lewin actually got the final touch, but they officially ruled it as an own goal from Rob Holding. Nicolas Pepe equalizing from the spot, but then Yerry Mina scoring off a set piece right before the half. Serious. Where did it go wrong again for Arsenal this week?
Well, first of all, it always goes wrong when you start Willian. I'm pretty sure he just did nothing that whole game. Honestly, all we do, to be honest, right now, even with Wenger the last couple of years when we were struggling a bit, he still remained consistent. We still played in a nice way. Right now, all we're doing is just we're sending out wide, just hoping someone can, score a header. It's not like we have Giroud anymore. We don't really have players who could, who for aerial threats, and it's honestly not working. I felt like Holding's own goal was a bit unlucky, but besides that, it was just awful again, to be honest. If I see Lenny make one more back pass, I'm gonna jump off my bridge because it's just so annoying. But Pepe finally scoring. I know he has the cheeky goal ratio of 1 goal in every 5 games, so it's great. All around, I'm really excited for more games, especially like this one today. It really just gets my blood flowing, to be honest. So, yeah. Besides that, Martinelli did come on, as we saw today. Actually, I don't know if he got injured or not. We have to see what happens. But yeah. If there was one bright spot, actually, I really just can't think of a bright spot. So yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree with you more. And looking at this game, the team selection, in my opinion, looking at this game was just baffling. Um, um, did it surprise you that Eddie Nketiah, who, all due respect to Eddie Nketiah, he really hasn't been incredibly convincing with the chances he's gotten in the Premier League, and how Lacazette's not in the best of form, but you take your experienced striker, your 50 million pound striker, and you sit him on the bench, and you don't even include Balogun, who's the young kid who's highly regarded at Arsenal. Did that baffle you in any way?
Yeah, I felt like I would have started Lacazette. I can understand why he started Nketiah, to be honest, because if Nketiah scored, we'd be saying something different. Because Nketiah did get that assist for Aubameyang. Yeah, just disappointing that Aubameyang got injured, right before the game, I think it was, or an hour before. So yeah, I don't know. I'm a little surprised. I feel like we saw today Lacazette did score. Felt like he wanted to prove something today as well for not starting.
Yeah. Again. And um. And last and final question for you, Sears. On this game. Where does this game leave you in terms of your opinion on the position of the manager?
Um, to be honest, like I know your love Davis Troop says Arteta out, but I don't know. I'm still not there, to be honest. I feel like before, during the restart when we were playing, we went on the FA Cup run and the Community Shield run, which is the 2 more trophies in Tottenham got. I just feel like it was impressive, to be honest. Like we were getting results, getting wins, grinding through wins. I don't know. I'm still Arteta in, that's for sure. I'm still gonna back him, but needs to do something, that's for sure. Needs to change up things because right now, same old thing is just not working.
All right. Well, there you have it. And right now it just seems like there's no light at the end of this dark tunnel for Arsenal at the moment. And anyways, going to the next game, Andre, over to you. Newcastle drew with Fulham. Thank the Lord Callum Wilson scored for my fantasy because that's just relieving to me. Finally, when I bring in a striker, he scores immediately. Thank the Lord. Callum Wilson with a penalty in the second half, but Fulham initially took the lead through an own goal off of the head or the face of Matt Ritchie. I couldn't tell if he actually headed it or if the ball literally just hit his head and went in. Joachim Anderson got sent off. What did you make of that interesting game?
Yeah, messy goal, messy game is weird game, but I'd say that you just have to direct attention towards the continuous improvement of Fulham. St. James Park isn't an easy place to go, even with Newcastle's inconsistencies, and they've gone there and they've tried to play the decent football. So I think they'll be happy to come away with a point.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with everything you say. In terms of the game, I think it looked as if Fulham were gonna, score anytime soon after Newcastle got that equalizer. And Newcastle were very fortunate to come away with a point.
Yeah, I think Fulham were the better team. It is
definitely
weird because I don't like Newcastle's just a weird one. So I think they do have to realign themselves mentally and try to choose a direction to where to take the team. it's inconsistent. It's weird to watch them play sometimes. So yeah, they just need some direction. I think Bruce has some work to do because they have quality.
Oh yeah, no question about that.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I've noticed now, I'm noticing Newcastle every single week, it's a different formation.
Yeah.
And this reminds me right back to what Ollie does almost every single time. You don't know what formation he's going to use. It's like as if he takes the formations, writes down whatever formations he always uses for the games, throws them into a hat, closes his eyes, picks out the hat. Oh, there's my formation. That's what I'm going to go with for today. I mean, one day you'll get Newcastle playing 3 at the back, then 4 at the back, then 5 at the back, 2 up front, 3 up front. They're just such an inconsistent side. You don't know what you're going to get from Newcastle. But what I can say is that whatever lineup, but the lineup that they did have against Fulham clearly did not work because they got absolutely dominated, and they should be lucky that they came away with a point.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyways, moving to into the next fixture, and Robert, over to you. Brighton drew Sheffield United. Sheffield United initially taking the lead, actually. Jayden Bogle with his first Premier League goal. And of course we all saw that Lundstrom challenge, which was absolutely horrendous, and that was no doubt a red card, 100%. And Danny Welbeck, scoring late for Brighton. What did you make of the game?
I'm just gonna say this: if you're watching Sheffield United play, what are you doing? Like, dude, they have 2 points. Hate to say it, not very good. I did have to complete an objective today, FIFA Mobile, with Sheffield United. I had to beat Everton. Total pain in the ass. But Sheffield's probably going to get relegated. The relegation battle, though. Brighton is a team that's going to be in there. Arsenal, Fulham, West Brom. I think it's going to be a really interesting relegation battle this year. But Sheffield, hate to say it, unless they can really pull some miracles around, I don't think they're going to be top in 20 points. So,
yeah, no chance. And now since I've really seen this clear run of poor form from Sheffield United, I think it's clear that they sorely miss Dean Henderson. They very, very well miss him. If it weren't for Dean Henderson, they probably would have been relegated last year. Because for the money that they paid for Aaron Ramsdale, I mean, there's a reason why Bournemouth got relegated. I mean, sure, it was other parts. You can't just solely blame the goalkeeper, but I mean, you also have to look at your goalkeeper. That's like one thing you got to look at, and it's clear that he's not good enough. I mean, championship level at best. I mean, I just generally have no clue why Sheffield United thought it would be a good idea to spend. I think it was a club. They spent £22 million on Ramsdale, and then almost £30 million on Ryan Brewster, a youngster who barely plays for Liverpool, and is hoping that he can save their season. I mean, that's poor, very, very poor. But for Brighton, it was very unlucky. I have to say, very unlucky. As the moment Welbeck scored, I mean, there was, a whole number of chances that came in. And I have to say, Sheffield United were very, very fortunate to get a point out of that. Very fortunate. Anyways, moving into the next game, and we're going to go to the other North London club that also lost this week. Tottenham losing by 2-0. They're now on a 2-game losing streak. Where Mourinho got masterclassed by one of Andre's favorite managers and favorite teams, Leicester City and Brendan Rodgers, his favorite. Toby Alderweireld, or as Andre calls him, Toby One Kenobi, scoring an own goal, and then Jamie Vardy, right at the end of the first half, from the spot, after a blatantly stupid challenge from Aurier. And for everybody who saw All or Nothing, Tottenham Hotspur, I think everybody knows why Mourinho told Aurier, I'm very scared of you in the box because I know you're gonna screw something up or cause a penalty. So, Andre, what went wrong for Tottenham Hotspur? Another loss for them.
I don't know, maybe like everything. It was such a dumb game, but I still hate Brendan Rodgers. Um, no, no, it was hard. It was so tough to see just because whatever we were let down at Liverpool, like obviously some questionable lineup decisions, and then this time it was just clumsy REA back, and again Toby had was really poorly positioned for even the own goal. So it was just a lot of stuff at the back. Just a lot. I think just mentally, it just seemed like the team wasn't there. Even though if we are gonna contend for bigger things, then just the
Like the
mentality needs to
Carabao
be
Cup,
a lot better.
like the
Okay.
Carabao Cup, maybe the FA Cup.
No, one of many. One of many. Uh, they just the mentality needs to be better. There was no bounce back after Liverpool. It seemed like this was a necessary 3 points, and they just totally messed it up. I'm not gonna say bottled it, even though it was the first word that came to mind. But it was it was a weird game, weird goals, weird chances, but just not good enough from Spurs, and heartbreaking the last 3 game weeks, honestly.
Do you think this game, or these past 2 games, I mean, Jose Mourinho, I think virtually selected the same 11. I think apart from Region, I think Jose Mourinho selected the exact same 11 for both games. Do you think Mourinho needs to make more changes, regardless of Tanguy and Ndombele's fitness or not? Do you think maybe he does the unthinkable and brings Dele into the side? Do you think maybe he tries Gareth Bale, give him a start because Bergwijn hasn't looked too convincing? Do you think he changes up the middle, puts a new partner alongside Højbjerg?
Yeah, I think you're actually pretty spot on. I think the midfield is what needs to be changed. At least I think it's not that it needs to be changed, but it's just too predictable for sides now. That's the same combinations, the same style, like game after game, where things do need to change a bit. It needs to be more free flowing. So I think a personnel change, wouldn't do harm, but it's also just maybe a few tactical things. We still have Sissoko always tucking back into center back with Aurier, then Højbjerg distributes, and then it's just left. It's just Kane then comes up. It's just we just need more changes, just more sharpness, more unpredictability is what we need in midfield. That's what I would say would make the biggest changes.
All right, well, there you have it. We go into the most exciting game of the weekend. The old rivalry came back. All the hype was this game was being hyped up all week. Manchester United versus Leeds. I saw Leeds fans some Leeds fans on social media saying, "Oh, we're back," and you guys are in turmoil. Well, I mean, based off of the game, it seemed like Leeds were an absolute shambles. Manchester United dominated that game, dominated the whole game more or less. Few shaky moments, but United dispatched them 6-2. And a player who literally sat me down in the first 3 minutes, Scott McTominay scoring 2 goals in the first 3 minutes of the game. I got sat down instantly. Bruno Fernandes scoring 2 goals. Yes, one of them was a penalty, and that's still going to get memed. Victor Lindelof scoring early in the first half, and Daniel James scoring in the second half. So, I mean, not your typical everyday United goal scorers. Not your typical guys who you're going to see score goals for Manchester United. And for Leeds United, a header from Liam Cooper, and then a brilliant strike from Stuart Dallas. Jose, what did you make of this game? And do you think this is a turning point for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer potentially?
I could be, definitely. I hope he takes the momentum in the right way with this game. I think everyone was really excited to watch this game because a lot of people knew that Leeds played in a way that would make them vulnerable to United's system with how Ole likes to play. I think McTominay scoring 2 goals from his midfield role was a big deal. I think that it points to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer telling McTominay to get forward more, which is important.
100%. And
because he doesn't just. I mean, when have we ever seen him do that? He normally just sits there alongside Fred.
He must have told Fred and McTominay, him or Michael Carrick, that
Absolutely.
comes down to tactics, Because times in the past when we've seen McFred or when we've seen, Matt Fred or when we've seen Matic and McTominay, it's just sit back, protect, Harry the Hoover and Victor the Vacuum. And the same thing was with the outside backs. I saw Wan-Bissaka bombing down the right-hand side, and I'm just like, is this Wan-Bissaka, really?
Mm-hmm.
I saw Luke Shaw, my bad. Luke Shaw bombed down the left-hand side, and he'd even put in some good crosses. I'm just like, is this really Luke Shaw that I'm seeing? So, and I think this game shows that although Ole Gunnar Solskjaer tactically is very naive, it's not like he doesn't have tactics. I think this game proves alone that he does have a set of tactics, and the tactics he used here was spot on. What else did you make of the game?
Well, one important thing that I saw was it is the first time that we've scored 6 goals in the league since the United 8-2 Arsenal. So that's a big achievement there, I think, and a sign of things to come, hopefully, for Ole.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, my stance on Ole is I think Ole should go, but I would love to see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer succeed. That's if he succeeds and he's able to win some trophies, you know what? Fair play to him. I want to see him succeed. And hopefully he will. And hopefully this game is a turning point because, we do have a very, very difficult schedule coming up. I know we play Everton tomorrow in the Carabao Cup. We have to play Leicester. Then we play Wolves. Then we play Aston Villa. So it is a very difficult schedule looking at it. And it's going to the next game, Sirius, West Brom and their new manager, Sam Allardyce. And I know some Arsenal fans are disappointed that they weren't able to get Sam Allardyce. I think that would have been a great fit for them, considering the place that they're in right now. But Sam Allardyce and along with their captain Jake Livermore, who got sent off late in the first half, were sunk by Aston Villa by 3-0. Anwar El Ghazi with 2 goals, one of them a penalty, and Bertrand Traore scoring in the second half. Sirius, what did you make of this dominant performance by Aston Villa?
Oh yeah, it was Fat Sam's first game in charge, but to be honest, if he was ever Arsenal manager, I just wouldn't watch Arsenal. But Grealish again, given his free space to play, and another great performance from him. He draws so many fouls. At times, people could say he dives, but just the way he plays just opens up space for other people. And saw Bertrand Traore have a great game. He scored the opening goal. He gave the ball for the opening goal, my bad. And then El Ghazi scored 2. I noticed that after scoring that first one, he kind of became a little selfish, but that's okay. You get your first goal, you want to keep scoring. But besides that, Martinez, another clean sheet. I really wish we didn't sell him, but another great performance. They've had a solid season. They're just continuing to do solid, and good things to come for Aston Villa.
Yeah, 100%. I remember before I had my say. I think told Emi Martinez saying, if I'm not too worried if Bernardo gets injured. You have Alex Runderson. He had a very good performance today against Man City. So, I'm not personally not too worried about that. But going over to you, Robbo, because I saw your face absolutely light up when we started talking about Jack Grealish. And we all know how good this guy is, but let's hear from the Jack Grealish fanboy himself. How good is this guy, and is he world class?
Well, I think first of all, I just want to say this: man's posted up wearing Jordans, fresh as hell. Jack Grealish has immense drip. I don't think he's world class. I think world class is an overused term. I think very few players are world class. He's good. He's a good English baller. I think he's playing a small club. Love to see him at Chelsea. I don't think that's going to happen. I would hate to see his career die at a team like Manchester United. So, you know how it is. But I think Grealish is one of those guys. He's pretty young. He has a lot of potential.
24.
He just gotta stay away from cars. And he can't have any more photos of him
Exactly
with women not wearing shirts. But besides that, keeps that up, he'll be fine. crack on player. Love him. My private Instagram is Jack Grealish fan account at this point. So, love him. Totally biased, but yeah.
No, I don't think it's biased in any way, shape, or form to say that that this guy is a top class player. And thinking that Tottenham had the chance to sign him for $6 million, but according to Daniel Levy or Mr. Ebenezer Scrooge, that was a lot of money to pay for Jack Grealish. This guy, he's one of the best players in the Premier League, and I just think I don't think it's any debate. He should be already he should be in contention for PFA Player of the Year. He honestly should be. He's been nothing but sensational this season, and yet again he's taken this Villa side and he's propelled them again. How long he'll stay at Villa, I don't know, but if he's going, he signed a new contract and Villa are not letting him go for any cheap price. I heard £100 million is the amount that Villa would be willing to take. So I think the only team that's willing to spend huge on an Englishman is going to be Manchester United. Let's put it out there. If you're good and you're English, that's perfect for United. And I know Jack Grealish should be just perfect for United, especially if Paul Pogba goes. That's someone we'd love to see. And if we had signed Jack Grealish that summer, Donny van de Beek would not be here. He would still be at Ajax. Anyways, going into that next game, Andre, an absolutely shocking result. Absolutely shocking. Burnley, and as Mark Ulrich would say, bloody Burnley, won by 2-1 against Wolves. Ashley Barnes and Chris Wood, the Dream Strike duo, doing it again for Burnley, and Fabio Silva, Wolves' youngest ever goal scorer in the Premier League, netting his first. What did you make of that game, Andre?
Yeah, probably just ultimate smash and grab from Burnley as always when they do win. They're both. I would say both sides are can be considered bullies of the league, but Burnley were just sharper. Charlie Austin exploited the space really well. All of them were just incredibly physically. Yeah. So they were just really physical, really really great. Chris Wood, Ashley Barnes, who's been out of form, finally got one in the back of the net after struggling. But really Burnley just classic Sean Dyche tactics. And then from the Wolves' perspective, Fabio Silva signed as one for the future. Has been given first team chances due to the Raul Jimenez injury, and he had an impact against Burnley. He's a big guy, so he drew a really good foul into the box and smashed the penalty in. But Wolves almost came back in the end, but Burnley smash and grab, as always when they do win.
Yep. You took the words out of my mouth. This is just, another classic, Goldbridge kryptonite performance. We've seen it now so many times over the years that they've been in the Premier League. Stay compact, that the Sean Dyche 4-4-2, and he has his, back line more or less bully physically on the opposing team's attack. And some games it works, some games it doesn't, but it definitely did work today. Or no, not today. Back on Sunday when they played. Wait, no, Monday. Back on Monday when they played. Almost said that wrong. And it just shows that that without Raul Jimenez and more attacking reinforcements, Wolves are definitely vulnerable. They definitely are vulnerable. And I know it's just it's kind of weird to see them in what are they 12th to 13th in the table. It's kind of weird to see that, but when you look at it in the bigger scheme of things, it really isn't. they need to bring in an attacker. They need to bring them in if they're gonna try and push higher in the table. And going into the last game, Robbo, over to you. Chelsea, very simple, 3-0 win against West Ham. Thiago Silva scoring for Chelsea, and then Tammy Abraham scoring 2 goals for Chelsea in the second half. 2 goals in 2 minutes, to be precise. 2 questions. What did you make of that Chelsea performance? And my second question for you, Robbo, why is Timo Werner at the moment so good in front of goal?
Well, pretty happy with just finally beating a team in the top 10. Just love to see it.
Woo!
Took long enough, but showing we're real contenders. We beat West Ham, big deal. Timo Werner, I sent a meme into the group chat. It was like the Simpsons character, like Family Guy character shooting the gun backwards. I don't even know what's happened with him. Like maybe it's just like Kai Havertz and Timo Werner just aren't used to the pace of the Premier League or something. I don't know. Just speaking of Kai Havertz, that man is just playing like crap. Most disappointing player in the Premier League. I was like, dude's like 6'3", like should have mad drip. Like,
to be fair, he stopped playing in his normal position too, though. He stopped being played in the proper system that suits him. Like he's best in a 4-2-3-1 system. And he's either playing in a 3 in midfield or sometimes he's being played out wide. I mean that's just not his position. He's best played as a number 10 in a 4-2-3-1.
I think the thing, regardless, is if you're paying that kind of money for a player, there's an expectation, 1, they can be flexible, and 2, they're going to produce regardless. Because at the end of the day, this is a big old business. And if he's not scoring goals, it's a bad investment. Like,
Yep.
Man just dribbles out of the back and turns it over. That's how he like gave up a goal against Southampton. Like, it's like little stuff he does that you notice if you like watch him play. He turns it over, totally gets burned. Like, not that physical. Like, Mans is just slightly overrated. Same with Timo Werner. Like, Mans has his moments where he flashes with brilliance, but rest of the game he's just getting like tracked down by some like massive British dude for like no reason. Like, he should win. It's foot race. He should score the goal. But how do you miss a goal on the 1 yard line? Like, how? Like, multiple times. He's done it multiple times. Like, I don't know how. Like, you pay that kind of money, like, I'm expecting you to, like, put the ball in the net. Like, how come all of the bench players score goals? Like Tammy Abraham should be starting. Like, Giroud should be starting. But, no, like, throw Warner up there, the miss a goal line goal. So,
To be fair, I mean, Timo Werner's been playing out wide. He's been playing on that left-hand side, and we've seen players like Tammy Abraham and Olivier Giroud going up front and combine with Timo Werner. We really haven't seen. I mean, as of recent, Lampard's preferred to play him out wide, and that definitely hurts. The play time of someone like a Christian Pulisic, definitely, and you're definitely not seeing the best out of him. But I mean, these are just some minor issues, I guess, for Chelsea. I think Frank Lampard is more than capable of sorting it out. And when it comes to spending big on players, sometimes that first season syndrome just hits. And then when you look at the next season, I mean, I can name so many examples, but I'm not going to go into it right now. There have been so many examples. Players come in, they struggle the first season, and then when it comes to the second year, maybe the third year, then they hit the ground running. There are very few players that when they instantly arrive and they come for a big price and they have a big role and there's a lot of pressure for them to deliver, they hit the ground running and they keep it consistent. I mean, the prime example, and I know some people are saying that I live up his backside, but Bruno Fernandes is a pretty prime example. Came in instantly and he hit the ground running, and he's still hitting the ground running, and he's consistently been playing well.
It's very generous to compare Bruno Fernandes to Kai Havertz, though. To be fair.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm not saying they're the same in any way, shape, or form.
But
not at all. That's insulting to Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
But just using him as that example.
No.
where you don't see many players come in for big prices and they just instantly hit the ground running and they can keep consistency. I mean, Kai Havertz is a quality player.
No.
And I say this about Harry Maguire all the time. And yes, no, I'm not trying to say Kai Havertz and Harry Maguire are the same. I'm honestly not. But I mean, Chelsea didn't pay, what was it, £75 million just for no reason. I mean, it's the same with Harry Maguire. I mean, many didn't pay any £1 million for no reason. I mean, Chelsea clearly see a quality player in Kai Havertz. This guy lit up the Bundesliga. Yes, it's the Bundesliga, but he's a young player, and with time, I think he could be a really good player for them.
I guess. But like one thing that's different is that I think Werner and Havertz, I don't think either of them have lived up to the hype. But one thing that I do see in Werner is that he looks hungrier generally. Well, he's still trying to. Even if his finishing isn't there, he's always making that extra run. He's always trying to play to his advantages. Whereas Havertz always just has that dumb face, or he looks like just too confident, like too complacent. So it's just like that's what I don't like. I don't like that from Havertz. That he just doesn't look like he's trying. I don't know if he's doing that on purpose, but it's like I don't know what he's like in training. But I don't think he doesn't look like a good trainer, to be honest. So I don't know. I really don't get Havertz, and I don't know. It seems like the two of them, it's like they've signed like two halves of Alvaro Morata, Havertz with like the number and the whatever, and then Werner's with the striker and not being good enough. But Werner, I still have more sympathy for just because he's trying. But Havertz, I don't see it. I don't know. Robert, do you think Havertz has an attitude problem?
I don't know enough about like the whole situation at Chelsea and Kai Havertz's behavior to make a claim like that, but kind of by the way you play, like I hate to say it, if you dribble out of the back, like I think there's some arrogance there, but who knows? Like maybe he's like one of those guys in the locker room who's just a total dick to be around. We'll see. That's like one of the things about like pro sports no one really understands is like these guys are personalities and they're kind of, some of them are shitty people. Like there's been like full on like mobsters who play like pro ball. Like no one really knows, and like you don't really get that kind of insight, which is a little disappointing. We need like a inside mic with the Chelsea locker room after they lose 1-0 to Southampton. That'd be real interesting.
Yeah, Roman Abramovich comes with a gun and just shoots the ceiling.
Yeah, that'd be gnarly. That man is definitely contributing to the pressure at Chelsea. That he's like an oil tycoon. Like that man's in Putin's pocket. Like, hate to say it, English soccer is a tool for political control. Like Arsenal's, what is it, Fly Emirates? You have all this stuff that's like, it's like covering up, what is it, slavery. Like the building of those stadiums is like, hey, look, like they sponsor Arsenal, but they're also like using like 20,000 slaves to build a stadium. So, the vibes.
And going back to something that Andre said, talking about lazy trainers, and I know Andre and his Jose Mourinho mindset. So it's all about a lazy trainer.
Okay, Dele has over 50 goals in the Prem, but whatever.
The season?
No, but he'll get there.
And I know and I know how hard of a worker and trainer Marcel Sabitzer is. And I know and he seems like a good Mourinho player. I mean, he seems like a good Mourinho player. What about a little swap deal? Maybe Dele for Sabitzer.
In your words, Davis, I'd capitulate. That would be. No, please no.
In the words of Davis, I capitulate.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get into Matchday 15 predictions. Starting off with the first game, Leicester against Manchester United. And I think this is probably going to be the most exciting game of the weekend. Because let's face it, Arsenal and Chelsea is not really going to be exciting because you can clip it now, whatever you want to say. But I think all of us can predict if this is going one way. I think even Sears can probably predict what way it's going to go. With all due respect, it's always a good game to watch. Arsenal and Chelsea is always a good game to watch. But I think we still don't know where that game's going. But sticking with Leicester, Manchester United, this one's difficult to predict. Because again, as I say almost every week, you don't know what starting 11 Ollie's going to pick. You don't know. You don't know what formation he's going to play. But assuming we're going to go into this game like we played against Leeds, I highly doubt we will this time. Because Brendan Rodgers is, of course, more reserved and less on the front foot, especially if he goes with 3 at the back. I also think Manchester United can go to Leicester and take care of business. I really think they can do it, considering some of the depth that they have in those positions, and in the positions that they have. I think Manchester United can go in and do a job. Anyway, serious. What are you saying for this game?
Good evening.
I'd probably go with a cheeky Leicester 2-1, to be honest.
Ooh.
Andre, what are you saying for the game?
I love like hearing the like. I mean, I don't laugh because I want your attention. I love like hearing the contrast in how you analyze. Because I think if Man United had lost their last game, you'd be saying, if it's Maguire, Lindelof, Vardy's just going to destroy him with pace. Everyone knows it. That's what you'd be saying right now. But I appreciate your optimism.
You make a good point. You very well make a good point, because I know Bamford's not the quickest. He's physical, good in the air. He's okay quick, but he's not. He doesn't have Vardy pace. And you make a very good point. If Leicester play with pace, and it's back to the same old Matic, McTominay, Fred, kind of rubbish that we've seen in the past, then you know what? Leicester is probably going to tear us a new one. And in the words of Andre, Vardy is going to destroy Maguire and Lindelof. Yeah.
Okay.
So what are you saying for this game?
No, I think if United, I think the battle's going to be in midfield. I think that's where it'll be. It'll also be a battle of the goalies too. I think they're both really class keepers. So I think United's going to edge it. I think they'll continue onward, and you guys will only get more optimistic and cocky about the whole thing. But yeah, I think United will beat Leicester.
Jose, go on you. What are you saying for this game?
Honestly, I'm thankful that we have the Everton game this week, because I feel like it's a chance for us to kind of get back down to earth and make sure we aren't too cocky and confident going into this one.
No, I'm not cocky whatsoever. Yeah, but what are you saying? I think it's good to rest players as well.
Yeah, I think it is. It will be a good opportunity for us to rest players. I think we can get this win. I think hopefully we'll go out and attack like we did in the last game, and I think we can get the win. I think it'll be maybe a 2 or 3-1.
And Bravo, what are you saying?
I'm looking forward to a duel between 2 Europa League dark horses. So I think it's gonna be a good game. Probably 1-0 Leicester. Hate to say it. It's either like the thing with Leicester and United, they're both totally on and off teams. So you don't really know what you're gonna expect. Could go like 3-0, could go 6-2, who knows? But it'll be a good game.
Okay, fair enough. Next game, Fulham and Southampton. I think the fact how Southampton lost, they're going to be even more motivated to get back to winning ways, and I think they will. I think this is just although you can clip it, I could be wrong, because Fulham have been looking very good as of recent in terms of the games that have been formed. But I just think Southampton's going to take care of business, especially looking at the fact how they undeservedly lost. And that they were the better side as well. They lost. But they were still the better side. I think that Southampton's going to take care of business. Sirius, what are you saying?
Muted.
What?
No, should we tell him he's muted?
Yes. Seriously, I think you're muted. Anyways, Andre, I'll go over to you. What are you saying for Fulham and Southampton?
All right. No, I think it'll be entertaining, but I do think just Fulham just don't have the personnel that Southampton do. Southampton play stronger football. They're a lot more organized. They're on form. They're one of the best teams in the Prem right now. So, yeah, I go Southampton win. I think they'll smash them.
All right. Sirius, are you back?
Yeah, sorry.
No, don't worry about it. Fulham, Southampton, what are you saying?
I'm gonna go with a cheeky Southampton win. Probably a 2-0.
Okay. Jose, what do you have to say about it?
Definitely a Southampton win for me and a clean sheet.
Okay. And Robbo, over to you.
I'm feeling Southampton. I don't think Fulham's that good. Probably 2-0. Comfortable win.
Okay. Next game, Aston Villa, Crystal Palace. Now, my problem with Crystal Palace is that you could see them get thumped 7-2 by Liverpool. But then the next game, you could see them, do a typical grind out Roy Hodgson 1-0, 2-0 win. It's so difficult to predict. But I'm probably gonna edge out to Villa, but it really depends what Palace you see, what Crystal Palace side you see. And Sirius, what are you thinking about this?
Personally for my fantasy team, I'd like Martinez to keep a clean sheet. I just put him in there. So for the purpose of my fantasy team and what I think Aston Villa can win, to be honest. I'm gonna go with 1-0. I'm hoping Ollie Watkins can get a goal. I like him. Seen him at Brentford. So yeah.
Yeah, Ollie Watkins has been very impressive. And so if I see Ollie Watkins score, it's also just gonna annoy me so much with when you're regarding fantasy. It's gonna really piss me off talking about that. Andrew, what are you saying for this game?
Yeah, it's a tough one to predict. I think you're right about Crystal Palace. Just they have two sides. You never know what you're gonna get. Grealish versus Zaha, I don't know. Yeah, they just have to find a way to shut each other out. I don't know if it's gonna be. Seems like it's not gonna be a very watchable game.
No.
But yeah, I think I'll go draw. I think they'll share the points. Yeah.
Jose, what are you saying?
It's like Andre said, Zaha versus Grealish. It's gonna be down to moments of brilliance from the good players. I think.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna edge it to. I just went to Villa.
Okay. And Robertson, shall I assume that you're going for a Villa win and Jack Grealish is gonna be majestic all over the pitch?
Jack Grealish masterclass incoming. Hat trick. I don't care what's gonna happen. Villa's on top.
All right. Well, they're here. And the next game, of course, is Arsenal against Chelsea. Now, what I am gonna say is, there's a lot of pressure heaping on Mikel Arteta. That's not anything being understated. I also, and again, I could get clipped or whatnot. But I don't think this is going to be as an easy win for Chelsea as a lot of people say. I think Chelsea will win it, but I think it's not going to be very simple and straightforward. I think they're going to really have to break Arsenal down, and I think they will eventually. But I think Arsenal will put in a good fight. I mean, that's what I predict. Sirius, do you share the same view?
To be honest, I'd like to be optimistic. I know you're right. The pressure is growing on Arteta. To be honest, I think we're gonna lose. I don't think it's gonna be that bad of a loss. To be honest, I feel like that 4-1 performance we saw today. I feel like it's gonna be close, but I'm gonna go with 2-1. I think we can get one goal. But besides that, if Arteta's gonna go with the same information, have Willian, have those players. I think Xhaka is back, so what's about to happen.
And Bellerin.
No. If he doesn't start Ainsley, I'm gonna kill myself.
We're all happy that Sirius is being figurative here. Andre, what are you saying? And of course, your two favorite clubs in the Premier League, besides Liverpool, of course, because I know how much you love Fabinho's goal against City. What are you saying for this game?
Okay. No, I mean, I'd like to go on and say I really couldn't give a crap about what the result happens in this game. But there is a top team in there, at least one, at most one. No, but you're looking at battle of two. It's kind of like the Zaha Grealish thing. It'll be the battle of Ozil versus Havertz. It's a really good duel between those two sides. No, I think Arsenal could have the tools to potentially hurt Chelsea, but I don't think it'll happen. I think Chelsea's personnel is just stronger. I think different level. Maybe Giroud will have a hat trick against his former club. Who knows? But yeah, I'll edge it to Chelsea.
All right. Jose and Robert, what are you two saying?
Oh, well, I mean, I think Arteta's going to be under pressure, but I mean, the board also came out recently and basically said we're going to back him with,
Yeah, they backed him.
Yeah. So, I mean, he'll be under pressure, but I don't think it'll be enough pressure to where it's really going to hurt Chelsea a lot. So I think it's going to be probably a Chelsea win for sure.
And Robbo?
I mean, hate to say it, Chelsea's form, they lost 2 straight in 2 games they probably should have won. So you never know. Arsenal might come out on top, but if I was a gambling man, I would say Chelsea would win.
All right. Manchester City and Newcastle. And I think, by the way, they took care of Southampton. They're more than capable of taking care of Newcastle. Are all of you saying a Manchester City win?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
All right. And all right, and I guess we go right into the next game. Which again, Sheffield United, Everton. Are we all saying Everton's gonna beat Sheffield United?
Perhaps.
Yeah.
All right. Leeds United, Burnley. Now,
Ooh.
this one actually isn't as straightforward as we thought. Burnley surprised everybody and they beat Wolves. I think Leeds United will win this game, but this will be no easy game. This will be no easy game whatsoever. Do all of you share the same view, or do you have something different?
No, I think Burnley is just gonna have Leeds. Just they're not gonna know how to handle the game. Just like disciplinary. I don't think they'll. Yeah, Leeds. I think Leeds are gonna be out there like just looking for answers that they won't be able to find, and Burnley's just gonna whatever. So I think I'm gonna go Burnley win.
Okay. Serious Jose, Robert, what are you three saying?
I'm gonna go with 0-0 because I hate the way Burnley plays, but they play it right sometimes.
And the other two, what are you two saying?
I'm actually going to go with a Burnley win on this one.
Okay. And Robert, what about you?
Probably 1-1, 0-0. It's not a game I would watch.
No, I don't think. Unless if it was my own team, I wouldn't watch a single freaking game of Burnley. I honestly won't. It's more boring than watching Jose Mourinho and whatever side he manages, which at the moment is Tottenham. Any Jose Mourinho side. Honestly, it's more boring than that. Going to the next game, West Ham versus Brighton. This is an interesting one. I think this is going to be a draw. Honestly, I think Brighton got so unlucky at the end, losing that game. But at the same time, with the quality we know West Ham actually has, I think this is going to be a draw. Sirius, over to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I think it's gonna be a draw as well. Two sides kind of equal. So.
All right. Andre, what are you saying?
Yeah, I think it'll be hard fought, but I think West Ham take the points. I think they'll win.
All right. And Jose, what are you saying?
I think both teams are gonna really want the point in this one. I'm gonna agree with you and Sirius. I think it's gonna be a draw as well.
And Robert, over to you.
West Ham edge it 1-0.
All right. And we go to the second to last game. And I'll just say, are we all saying Liverpool is gonna beat a very, very tough West Brom?
Yeah.
No, Fat Sam for the win.
On my head.
Fair enough. Arsenal are gonna wish they signed him.
No.
Oh, Robert, what are you saying? Liverpool's gonna beat West Brom.
Who knows? This Premier League is a mess, but
Yeah,
if I was a gambling man, probably.
you have a point. But in all seriousness, the way Liverpool dispatched Palace, they could probably do the same to West Brom and score double the goals. Anyways, into the final game, arguably one of the most freaking boring as hell games to watch because you have to watch two defensive freaking performances come around. You have the two Portuguese defense-minded managers coming head-to-head in Wolves against Tottenham, and both of these sides lost their last game. Tottenham, I know, lost the last 2 games, and I just think it's. I think if Mourinho makes the changes that he needs, I think Tottenham will definitely win this one. They'll take care of business. Because Wolves just don't have enough depth to really make any real changes. Sirius, what are you saying for this game?
What do you think the score is?
I'm gonna go with a 6-0 Wolves. Yeah.
Andre, what are you saying for this game? And did you agree with the little cheeky statement that Sirius played?
No, I don't, but it's cool. He has to make himself feel better because there isn't much joy he can feel in football right now. The way Arsenal are playing, really, really poor. So it's all is forgiven. I know he's going through a rough patch. No, I do think I don't think it'll be easy. I think the misery will continue. I think we should shut them out, but I think it'll be a draw. Unfortunately, I think it'll be a draw. I think they'll end up getting the better of us at the end.
Okay. Jose, over to you.
For this one, I'm gonna think probably a cheeky 3-3 with a Fabio Silva 90th minute equalizer. From 30 yards, might I add.
Would Tottenham be 3-0 up at the start?
I was about to ask
They
that.
would at a certain point, but then they would give it up all in the second half.
That sounds really realistic, like it's happened before.
And how many minutes would it take a Wolves to score 3 goals? Would it be like in the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes? I think 10 minutes is pretty realistic.
Yeah, honestly, who knows? Probably 5 to 10 minutes, I'd say.
All right.
But
And Robbo, what are you saying for this game?
Thinking a Tottenham defensive masterclass, which results in a 1-0 Wolves win. You know the vibes. The classic elite Tottenham team has the best 2 front-minded goal scorers in the league. Decides to park the bus for 80 minutes. So, good stuff there.
All right. Well, there you have it from us. I'm happy to be back. And I know I said it in the January transfer preview with OG, but we've all been gone with final exams. It's been hard. It's been a real pain in the ass, but we're all back again. We're just happy to be here, and we're back again with the show. And if you liked the first ever show with the official Fab 5, please smash the like on the video. If you want to keep up with us and everything that we're doing, follow us on Instagram, and we're on Spotify as well. And wherever you are watching this in the world, have a great day/evening.